Hello, I'm going to show you some basics of making the recipe again. And for this one, a basic structure using show and hide. So first of all, you need some sprites. I've got a pan here. I've got an egg, which looks giant in comparison to that pan. So I'm going to go and drop it down to 50%. Yeah, that looks about right. And I'm going to need someone who's going to be narrating. I don't necessarily need a narrator, but makes a lot more sense. Let's go with the chicken. And you would make sure you start off as normal with a win green flag checked. And you're going to want a win green flag checked on everything to tell it where it needs to be when you start. So when this starts, the pan needs to be hidden. So we're going to go to looks and we're going to say hide. Same thing with the egg. The egg needs to be hidden when we start. Also, let's say I want the egg to move. I need to specify where I want him to start the first time. So we'll start over here. So I'll have motion and I'll have go to that position. So we'll start. Those disappear. Go back to the head, put it at the front. And we'll have her start to say things. Hello. I'm a hen. I'll teach you how to eat my children. And then at this point, actually, we can do another one. First, we need an egg. And then we could go and broadcast a message. Egg 1. And over in the egg, we would, when I receive egg 1, show. And then we go back to the hen and we just continue going down. We say, this one's name is Hank. Next, we need a pan. And you would go and when I receive or when I broadcast, pan 1, go over to the pan, and when I receive pan 1, and you go and show. And then you would just continue talking, and this would go on. Go to the pan, Hank. And then you would broadcast egg 2. You would go to the egg, and you would say, when I receive egg 2. I don't want to. And so on. Let's see how this plays. And then you would continue on. Now, at this point, you want it to wait till the end of the statement before the chicken starts to respond again. So you would broadcast after this. You do hen 1. You go back to the hen. When I receive hen 1, and then you would just continue to go, and maybe you have it move. At this point, maybe you have it change costumes as well. It's all a back and forth between the various sprites. And if you're going to have a move, don't use a go to when you can use a glide instead if you have to see the thing moving. You can do a glide and then you move it there and then you say glide. Then you can just change its costume. Go look at the costumes. I think there's a broken egg in here somewhere. Egg B, egg F. Oh, egg E. Oh, there you go. Let's go to egg E. Okay, so let's try it again. And you notice it still has the same costume. You got to go back and make sure in the when green flag checked, everything you change goes back to the original spot. So I'm going to go here and plunk that in. Let's try that again. Oh, it's not B. Let's go look at the costumes. A, or we can go with C. Let's go with C. Make it an anthropomorphic egg. Notice when I hit the green flag in the middle, it just reset. That's what it should do. So there's an egg, an anthropomorphic egg. And there you go. That's the beginning of a recipe. Lots of broadcast and receive, some interaction between them. The majority of it is just in one long string from the narrator. But if it has to respond to one of the other sprites doing something, then you have to put a break in it. So in general, that's what you would do for the recipe. This would not be considered a complete one. You didn't finish explaining how to make the fried eggs. Probably should have some butter in there. Probably have a cook time. Probably should have a kitchen as a backdrop at some point in here, because obviously you're not going to cook it in some shrubbery. But in general, that's how you would get started.